Welcome back to the EAM Crypto channel and to episode number 8. That's right, episode number 8 of the DeFi Weekly Recap. Sorry that I haven't produced any content all week. I was traveling again. We just got back into town last night. But look, guys, there's so much to cover. Last week, we talked about the beautiful, beautiful 3 rising valleys that BTC formed on a pretty decent time frame. I think it was the daily. And it kind of showed us what was to come, and the TA was respected. And on this channel, we trust in the TA, we respect the data, and I think that's why we've been able to do so well and have a pretty solid year despite the fact that bears have been running wild all year round. So what's to come next though, right? So we saw the 3 rising values last week. It allowed us to kind of be able to have a pretty good idea what's to come, but what's going to happen now, and this is where it gets really interesting. Is this the time to create some fresh longs? I don't know, it's tough. It really is tough. The indicators, some of them are bullish, some of them are bearish. There was some very obvious bearish divergence on the 4-hour last night that was pretty easy to spot. So what's happening today should be of no surprise to anyone that follows traditional TA. But having said that, what's to come next? I mean, as far as BTC on the daily closes at over 22K, we should be fine during this kind of impulsive, kind of bullish run that we're on right now in the context on the macro of a bearish downtrend. So the trend is your friend. The trend is still very bearish. Bears are in control as far as the macro, as far as the whole. But what's to come? And that's where it gets really interesting. Do we have some more upside? I think so. I think we'll have some consolidation, maybe a little bit more down, and then we'll go up some more. Again, I'm just telling you guys my 2 cents of what I think will happen. But yeah, I mean, like a 26.5 definitely makes a lot of sense. 29, 30K, that one's a little tougher from a traditional technical analysis believe right now. That could change. But 26.5 is definitely possible. And just keep in mind that even if Ethereum goes down to 1250, it will still maintain its bullish structure within this little, kind of impulsive kind of run that it's been on. So as far as the news and how that plays into that, I just wanted to bring up a couple of things. One of them just really got on my nerves. I felt that the whole Elon thing was on the news way too much with him dumping 75% of his Bitcoin, guys. Look, guys, this is an accounting trick. It's an old trick. Everyone does it. Yes, it's a big deal that the asset that he used is Bitcoin. I get that. But at the end of the day, this should not have been major news by everyone covering it. I even feel silly talking about it right now, but I feel like I have to because that's what all the lazy journalists did and those that don't understand what's really important, and that's the macro. Yes, he did dump 75% of his Bitcoin. Yes, he had to do it for a number of different reasons, but even the people that reported it got it wrong. They really did. I mean, both cash flow and the free cash flow, which is basically operating income minus capex, would still have been positive. So it's not like if he didn't do this, he would be in the negative. But without BTC coming off his asset list, well then, yeah, the net change in cash would have been negative. So keep that in mind, guys. So this got too much exposure as far as the news, and B, 90% of the people that talked about it didn't even get it right, which is really frustrating to see. But anyways, what I do think is very, very important is this right here. This should have been the #1 news piece in all of the news, whether it's crypto, non-crypto, whatever, because it's all about the macro. I'm going to say that again. It's all about the macro. That's it. And if you don't understand that yet, you shouldn't be investing. Invest in yourself first and then invest. So if, for example, those that covered the news and didn't cover this right here, that tells me that they shouldn't be covering the news. They shouldn't be investing because they obviously don't understand what's the most important. That's the macro. And the ECB, for the first time in 11 years, did a larger than expected rate hike. This is the first time in 11 years, guys. So the macro still looks really, really rough. It's scary out there. It's a little scary out there. What we see right now with so many different countries and how they're debasing their currency is very, very scary. So there's a lot still to be careful with. So even though it's exciting that Bitcoin's doing so well this week, that 3 rising value was definitely something cool to see. Just know that as far as the macro, things are still very bearish and you should trade very, very safely. So we have a lot to cover today, guys, a ton, especially in these crazy DeFi streets. We're going to get into a bunch of different things. But first, a quick word from our partner and sponsor, Swapsicle. All right, guys, so my favorite DEX, Swapsicle, so much more than just the DEX. They have more announcements coming. It seems like every week it's almost impossible to keep up. They have gone completely open source with GitHub, meaning that the code on their back end is there for anyone to see. Also on top of that, they have some very cool partnerships that they just announced. They are now partnering up with Lava Finance as well as with Beefy. So those are two very, very big partnerships that they just announced. And they're also very proud and excited to announce that they are now official members of Crypto UK. So again, these guys are constantly working, constantly innovating, working out partnerships. They have partnerships with Liquid Capital, with Frozen Walrus, just to name a few. They now have a fantasy football league, which is really cool. So go check out Swapsicle. All right, so it seems like there's always a dumpster fire token or project to talk about when it comes to DeFi. Every week there's going to be one. It's just the kind of space we're in. These projects are all incredibly liquid. They're young. Things are going to go wrong. And it just makes DeFi very, very risky, very, very rewarding, but also very, very risky. So you have to be careful and always take profits when you can. So the dumpster fire that is Titan, we hope that now under new management, under a team that is not inept, that knows what they're doing, that they'll be able to utilize things right, make the Titan holders whole and all that good stuff. So there's a lot to cover, but I'm not going to get into all the details of it. I just not. Eric at LC, I have all the confidence in the world that Eric will do things right. He has everything, all the information he needs. You know, I know there's been a lot of talk about, well, whose wallet was that with 320 BNB? I'm not going to get into that, but I think Eric has everything that he needs. And the most important part is that for those of you that own Titan still, like me, I still own some Titan. Yes, I sold most of my Titan from 12 cents to 16 cents, and I was very vocal about that through this whole process. Through this whole awful looking chart, I was very vocal about that. I was probably the only YouTuber that was very vocal about that just because it didn't look great. I mean, that looks like a slow rug, right? Doesn't it? And I was the only one on all of YouTube trying to warn people, especially when they were saying to buy orb. I was trying to warn everyone. So hopefully I saved you guys some money. But at the end of the day, if you still own Titan, go to Discord. You will see the links where you can go ahead and just click on the right buttons and go to the right places so that you can get your BNB airdrop. So I saw some verbiage about the fact that you can get your BNB airdrop before the pre-sale is over. That way those that want to use that Titan to participate in the pre-sale will be able to. But go to their Discord and figure that out. Honestly, I haven't had time to research that in more detail to figure out what the latest is with that. And it seems like it's always changing because these guys at Liquid Capital are always grinding, always working, and looking to do what makes the most sense. So I have a ton of confidence in Liquid Capital, and I'm just going to leave it at that in regards to Titan. Now, as far as the raise, we're at 2.3 million. And look, guys, I know that the goal was huge. It was a $10 million goal. It looks like they're probably not going to get there, but 2.3 million in this market is just phenomenal. It's huge. So good on the team for doing that. We'll see how much they get. There's still 28 hours left. Excuse me, I just burped. Whoops. There's still 28 hours left. So let's see if we can get to 3 mil. And I'm just very bullish on this project. I love the fact that we're going to have that Horde system in place. We can take a look at Horde later, but that is just going to be something that I think keeps the price from dumping, from pumping. I'm not expecting like a 2x or anything like that here at launch. I could be wrong, we'll see. But I do expect the price action to be consistent for us to be able to get our rewards every day, and so we can have stable price action and get those rewards every day. That's a beautiful thing. So I'm very excited about them. So look, we talked about what bad looks like with Titan. We're talking about what good looks like with Liquid Capital. Something else that I think is a example of what good looks like is this project that I just started talking to last week. It's MDB, $1 Million Baby. And look, guys, these guys, this chart is very, very interesting to me. So I'm kind of connected with them via Discord, and I looked at the chart and I thought, okay, you have my attention. This chart looks interesting. What's going on here? I talked to them for a little bit, and it looks like they've been able to lock up 70% of their tokens, which is pretty impressive. And they have a lot going on. It's not a rebase protocol, but I wasn't really understanding everything that they're doing. Why is it that they've been able to stabilize price and show their holders about almost a 3x? Looks like there's been some profit taking going on here, which makes a lot of sense. It is DeFi, you have to profit take. But I wanted to find out more about this project, so I'm going to interview them sometime next week, and I'm very excited about that interview. We will wait and see what they have to state about why this chart looks so appealing, because this chart looks very intriguing to me, and I want to know more about this project that's, by the way, not a rebase protocol. And this is when I refer to what bad looks like with how much the Tytan team was paying themselves every week. These guys haven't paid themselves a single dollar, not one. Not from the pre-sale, not from anything. So pretty cool. Let's hear more about what these guys have to say. So check out my interview on MDB later this week. All right, so let's run through some of our favorite assets that we've been covering very closely. Frozen Walrus. These guys don't care about the macro. They don't care about anything. This community is just strong. They've just been consistent ever since that nice little value spot a few days ago where it touched down to 106, which is, let's see, it was a lower, well, if you go by the wick, it wasn't, if you go by the wick, it was a higher low. If you don't go by the wick, so that's kind of a tough one. I'm not going to put too much emphasis or credence or thought into which was a lower high or a lower low of these two. But bottom line, this community is just very, very strong. These guys are doing a lot of cool things. And all I see is strength here in these charts, and more strength here. Look at that. I mean, unbelievable. I guess we can get rid of these right here now. These don't really matter as much. Maybe they will at some point. Maybe we could figure out a way. But I think it's time to start drawing a new range there. But all sorts of strength from this asset. If you look at their Twitter, I mean, they're just doing a lot of different things, right? So we have the Norwal. Am I pronouncing that right, guys? I don't know. Coming in a couple days, or yeah, very, very soon. They announced they also had their that I talked about earlier, their partnership with Swapsicle. Very, very cool. Swapsicle and Frozen Walrus. That's a pretty damn good combo. So this asset is just showing all sorts of strength in every way, fundamentally, from a technical analysis perspective. I think these guys are here to stay. Frozen Walrus, strong project, strong community, and everyone seems to respect them. So congrats to that community. They're really doing well. Now, let's look at wine and grape. What's been going on with grape this week? Look at that. Look at that. 85 cents. Huge surprise to me. Was not expecting this, but in some ways, yeah, maybe because of the whole liquid capital thing. So yeah, we'll see what happens. This asset is looking like maybe it's going to paint another low. Let's see. We'll see what happens here. But guys, this community is just so strong. It has, it seems like everyone in DeFi respects these guys, knows that they have game, knows that they have partnerships. They have great liquidity. They have all sorts of stuff going their way. I'm just curious to see, what happens when this whole liquid capital pre-sale is over, how it's going to affect this asset. Will you then see money rotating back to liquid capital? I don't know. Here on the daily, it just looks like Grape probably ended that downtrend for sure, actually. So yeah, might not be a bad value spot. It feels like a good value spot, but should we wait a little till the pre-sale is over? I don't know. So this is interesting, guys. Not financial advice, just telling you guys what I'm thinking. But this might not be the worst time to add. I already own quite a bit of Grape and Wine in a couple different wallets, but this may be a nice time to add. Maybe great for more of a less risk kind of play. But still, wine still looks to me like it's probably, in my opinion, undervalued. But guys, I'm a holder. I like these guys, so I'm a little biased. But I just think that this could be a nice value spot again. So we'll see. It seems to have painted on the daily. Back in April, it got down to as low as $38, guys. So is there more downside? Possibly. Of course. It's DeFi. But, you got to think that, it's kind of like when we were talking about BTC back when it was in the 17, 18K range. It's probably closer to its lowest low than it is to its highest high, right? So interesting spot for wine and grape. We'll see what happens. So what else should we take a look at? I wanted to take a look at US Dibs for a second because I did want to state something. I did sell my US Dibs last week around $1. And the reason why I did it is that I just noticed a little bit of I noticed a little bit of just weakness as far as the volume, and it doesn't have a ton of holders. So I thought, well, let me just kind of wait this out and see. It's a good community, and I just wanted to wait and see the whole. I didn't know how things were going to be affected again with liquid capital. That there's some kind of like, you know, rotational thing happening also with this asset as well. So I just kind of wait and see, and my gut was right. And we'll wait to see. I can see myself going back into US Dibs for sure. But you know, when you start seeing volume dropping, that's usually a sign to maybe kind of take less of a risk on kind of approach. And that's what I did here. But again, I am a fan of this protocol. I like it. That's sustainable, low APYs, all that good stuff is good. We need more of that. We need more of sustainability. So speaking of sustainability, let's see how Pebble's been doing. So it looks like profit taking has happened for sure. It got as high as 1,034. I did some profit taking myself, but still own it. And look, guys, this asset was, you know, under 200 when I first started talking about it, and so it's still very much on a nice range right there, trend in this range, and we'll see what happens. They have a lot happening. Go check out my video that I did on Serenity Capital. I think it was 2 weeks ago. Where I explained my reasoning for why I like this asset so much. But this is a very good project, very good team. They're doing things right, and sustainability has been first and foremost for these guys, and they've proven it through time. So looks like their volume's dropping again. So they were having a little bit of volume issues for a while there, and then when all these announcements came out, their volume increased, and now it looks like it's dropping a little bit. But again, I am very bullish on this project. I'm very bullish on the team. So we'll keep an eye on it, and definitely keep an eye on Serenity Capital. Just know I'm a holder, and I'm actually kind of a fan of theirs. So I might sound a little biased because I am. And then the last project that I wanted to cover today, well, there's two. First, the other one is Printer. Guys, what is going on here with this asset? This is insane. This is crazy. I thought my printer tokens were done for. I own printer on a couple different wallets, and it got down to like $2. I just held on thinking, well, you never know what can happen, and you never know what can happen. I mean, it went all the way up here to like 60. I'm still trying to figure out the how or the why. I actually keep telling myself that I'm going to go to their Discord and check out what's going on, that you see all this crazy price action, but literally went from $2 to 30 to 60. I sold on one wallet. I sold at 20 some dollars, thinking, oh, this is fantastic. My printers did a 10x when I thought they were done, and yeah, and there's still looks like it's trying to move up again. So I need to make a mental note to check out Printer to see what the heck is going on with this project. And last but not least, what is going on with Magik? People are selling Magik. Why? 26 cents. So it's been kind of going back and forth between 33 cents and the low of 18 cents. But really, it's been, you know, if you don't count this low, or if you count this low right here, 21 cents to 31 cents for it feels like forever. But it really hasn't been. I don't know why it feels like forever. Maybe because I'm looking at a 4-hour here. Let's see. Let's look at the daily. I just feel like it's been like around 25 cents forever. So let's see. I mean, yeah, it's been like this for really not that long. Maybe like a month and a half of it just kind of ranging, right? Between, like I said, 18 cents, 19 cents, and really consistently 32 cents. Just been ranging, paying rewards. Again, this is another asset that I'm very, very bullish on. So Magik, we'll see what happens. I just keep expecting it to go up, and it doesn't. So anyways, guys, this is it. Wraps it up for this weekly DeFi recap. Let me know if there's any projects that I haven't covered that you would like me to cover. There's just so many to cover. It's hard to cover them all. And I hope that you enjoyed today's video. Talk to you soon. Take care.